Today you are going to get the pull workout that gets this style of results. Now I'm making the video based on what I have done and what I've seen has worked. I'm not basing it on what I think is the best or what it will according to me. It's just this is what we did, this is the results we got. So I'm going to share that with you and hopefully you can get the same results too. As you'd agree when you look at the back shots here, some pretty good backs, some pretty darn good backs here. So I thought these are probably the best four I've got so far. I thought I'd show them to you. This is my current back, also growing quite nicely. So I thought I'd just show this is what we're doing. If you're new to the channel, my name's Tom Sergi. Welcome. I run the Gorilla Pursuit, which is an online physique transformation program. So in today's video, I will give you the 3 exercises that get us the results and why I choose these exercises. Now, when we look at the back, what we want to be looking at is what muscle are we specifically targeting. I'm going to break this down into just 2 muscles to keep it as simple as possible. We've got the lats and we've got the traps. Now, it keeps it simple, but those are very, very big surface areas. The traps literally start here, run down here to the bottom here, and up in that triangle shape. The lats start all the way down here, attach into the spine as well, and then insert onto the back of your humerus, your upper arm. So, when we're looking to train these 2 muscles, let's specifically start with the lats and go into the lat exercises and then into the trap exercises. So, with the lats starting here and it's sitting onto your upper arm, our main goal when we're training our lats is to bring these 2 points together, to bring the origin and the insertion point together. If we can think of that in mind, now think of it when you're setting up your exercises. Think, how would you want your arm to be in the most efficient way to get that contraction? And when you start to think like this, you start to realize that a lot of exercises aren't bad. I'm not shitting on certain exercises. It's just the way people perform them could be better. So their effort put in would be yielding on the working muscle, not just like burning energy for the sake of it. So let's roll into the exercise number 1. Let me explain how to perform it, why I've chosen it, and how it's hitting the function of the lats. So the first exercise we've got is a single arm pull down. Now, is this better than lat pull down? No, I'm not saying that. But what I am saying, if you are someone that struggles to feel and contract your lats, what would be easier? To try and feel and contract 2 at the same time, or 1 at one singular time? If you wanted to really nail down your execution. 1 at one time, right? Now don't get me wrong, is this going to make your workouts a little bit longer? Probably. If that's not something you want, then fine, don't listen to this advice. I'm just telling you what I'm doing and what's worked for me. But with in mind that the lats start here, run up here and insert onto the upper arm, if I can think now just to drive my elbow to my hip, there can't be any more pinpointed than there. We're just contracting the lats, stretching the lats back out. Contracting the lats, stretching the lats back out. Now, I am a big fan of straps when it comes to pull because I don't want my hands or my forearms to be the limiting factor. What do you think is going to be stronger? This big fucking pack of tissue or this here? We know what's going to fail first. And as well, if you pull from your hands, what's going to close first? Shoulder joint or elbow joint? More than likely it's going to be the elbow joint, which means biceps going to get fried. So what I want you to think about when you do this exercise is, in fact, let's just go through the setup quickly. So you've got the bench set up here. You're ideally as far underneath the pulling system as possible, or you're using a cable stack and you're as close to it as you possibly can. This arm here is prized against the bench and you just want to keep your back in this position. Sternum bone facing up towards the mechanism that you're going to pull down from. Core is braced, because if the core's not braced, you will fold in on itself. Now that's just set up. When you perform the movement, you're going to think to drag your elbow into your hip. Don't think about pulling from here. Think about dragging from your elbow. Let's have a look at the set now. So drag the elbow, squeeze for a second, come up slow, stretch out. As you get to the top here, pause at this point. Don't allow it to go any higher than this. You could take it all the way up here, couldn't you? Where you're like, shoulder is above your ear. See how mine isn't? Well, right now the tension would be on my shoulder. We don't want that. We want to keep it locked in and locked in on the lat, so the tension's still on the lat. Drag the elbow to the hip, let it pull the lat back out, and again, drag the elbow to the hip. Keep the core braced, arm prized against here, elbow to hip. Get the squeeze for a second and coming back up. And you're literally doing the function of the lat there. Now, this isn't to try and give you a fancy new exercise. This is not new. Motherfuckers, you've seen doing this in your gym for probably years. This is not a new exercise. This is just taking a pull down and just doing it with one arm to really nail down what we're trying to hit, the origin and insertion. And it starts to get tough and we lose the range. So that's what we're looking to do here. Now, is a pull down potentially better? Maybe. Is a pull down more loadable? Potentially. However, with this, we're looking to do one thing. We're looking to stretch and shorten the lat to get that best contraction. That's why I program this, because it really does just focus on that one lat. This is not to be new. This is not to be different. This is not to be fancy. It's just we do this for that reason. We build good habits in training just the function of the lat, dragging that elbow down towards the hip. That should always be your goal. Whenever you're training back, you're thinking, where is my elbow in relation to where my torso is? That's how we're going to get that contraction on the muscle. Now, for sure, that will work the majority portion of the lat, but there's another exercise that we can do that's really going to attack this area here, the lower portion of the lat, which generally is quite underdeveloped on a lot of people. So we want to prioritize that, and we want to double down on this to really make some change in the physique and to get this little lip starting to come out here. So we're attacking the upward piece, and now we want to really attack the lower portion of the lats. And the way I try to describe this, it's not that the pull only works the top, but if you think about it, the tension point is here, so the majority of the tension is going to get fucking toasted a lot more than that lower portion of the lat. So now we want to flip the script and try and make sure we can really be concentrated on that lower portion of the lat. Let me show the exercise. So now what we're going to do is the same, but for the lower lats in a row variation. You can do this by, again, propping a bench up. You've got a cable stack in front of you. Some of you might have this form of pulling mechanism. Great. You can also do ones where the pulley system is here and you just kneel down behind it. There's many ways you can set this up, but the same principle wants to apply. You want to make sure that you have yourself pushed against something. Arm is prized against, chest is up and straight. And what you don't want to do when you pull, you don't want to collapse or crunch the midsection. The midsection wants to stay stern, and you want to picture now wrapping your lat around your spine through the dragging of the elbow. So we set up, we drag, squeeze for a second, we come back out, we keep the tension on the lat, and then we pull back again. Comes out slowly, keep the tension at the end. Don't allow yourself to really round forward, because it'll come off the lat and onto the shoulder. And if you've never done this before, fuck me, you will feel an insane burn like no other. You really are just trying to wrap that elbow down towards that back pocket of the hip, and that in that case, it's going to really fucking get after that short portion of the lat that sits just above the hip joint. If you've never done this exercise, honestly, you will really, really enjoy it, and you'll really start to feel the difference. Like, those two exercises alone, I walk out like a fucking triangle, no joke. Get very good, get strong at these exercises, drag from the hip. Last little thing I didn't really speak about, your grip. That's probably, that's okay. What you could do a little bit better than what I'm doing here is just slightly turn your thumb this way so your palm is up a little bit. If you allow your thumb to go more to the left, you'll end up pulling slightly outwards here with the elbow, and you don't want that. You want to be coming in towards the spine and back out from the spine. In that form of motion, that's what's going to allow you to get that taut contraction on the muscle. Now, the third exercise we're going to look to hit is going to hit the trap region of the back. That is the main aim that we want here. Now, thinking about this, if we want to hit this form of exercise, our arm path needs to be slightly different than what it was on the other two exercises. So let me show you a good exercise for this. So we're going to go with a chest supported upper back row. The reason we go for chest supported and like foot supported is we want to eliminate our glutes, our lower back, our hamstrings having to work. Because no joke, you could probably admit this too, most people are weak here. It's not the strongest point of us. Mainly through our posture on a daily basis, like me sat at a chair, my shoulders are probably rounded forward, well they are rounded forward a little bit, and most people are weak here. So if we're weak here, where we struggle to contract anyway, and we're then trying to stabilize all this, are we really going to get the most out of the exercise? Probably not. Now, what people will get wrong from this exercise, and I did for many years, is they will pull from here, from their hands first. So again, they'll bend from the elbow, and then they'll pull the shoulders back right at the end to get that contraction. You're kind of doing it in reverse, in the wrong way round. In order to really hit this part of the muscle, we want to start with that. So when you perform this exercise, very subtly, you want to see the shoulders move back first to get that shrug. Then the elbows are going to go as far back behind the body as you can possibly see. And then as a result, the hand that is connected to the tool, not pulling from the tool, will end up towards your chest anyway. That's going to happen automatically. But just by flipping the script and hitting it with this first, you're going to be able to get a more intense contraction. And that's what we need to get the traps. We need to pull essentially our shoulders back in that shrug motion, like what the traps do. You're just essentially shrugging backwards instead of straight up. But you're going to run out of room, so the elbows can carry it backwards to enhance the contraction. So this is what this is going to look like. Get the squeeze down slow. You want to keep the tension at the bottom, and then bang, move the shoulders and then the elbows. Then re-wrapping the lats back, the traps back against each other. Controlled. Get the pause, shrug, elbows, squeeze. Out, pause, shrug, elbows, squeeze. Now, of course, you're going to get a bit of form breakdown towards the end of this. If the chest comes up slightly, it's okay towards the back end of the set, as long as we're really pushing that set to failure. Your form is going to break down towards the last rep, even when it is chest supported. Last little reps, we're here, we get nasty, bang, 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 get the squeeze. I'm moving around everywhere like a shitting dog. And the form starts to break down towards the end of the set's done. So that is the exercise that I would put in for your traps. Why? It's loadable, it's stable. It then can really challenge the working muscle. If something's not so stable, it's not so loadable, the traps are a big muscle, they do need a lot of load, they're weak anyway, so you want to do everything you can to make it as simple as possible to hit, to train, to smash them in order for them to grow. So they are the 3 exercises in order to grow a back like this. You would run them twice per week, do pull day twice. I would envision you do 1 top set of a 6 to 10 on all 3 exercises and 2 back off sets of 12 to 15. Obviously applying progressive overload each week and just thinking, don't overcomplicate this. Where does the muscle start? Where does it end? Bring the 2 together. Slow tempo, get the pause, and just drive fucking intensity. And your back will grow. It really is that simple. It doesn't have to be so overcomplicated. 3 basic exercises will cover the majority of the back. You get a bit bored after 8 weeks, swap them out for different variations, but the principles are pretty much going to be the same. So if you found this video of value, subscribe to the channel. If you want to work specifically with me, there'll be a link in the description. If you want to get on board my coaching program, we will get you some fucking corker of results like what we get here. So thank you for watching, and I will see you tomorrow.